Hi.
She's enjoying her mango nata. But while she's doing that, we're gonna go over 10 tips to keep your school-age kids, but not just school-age kids, busy while they're off of school. Lauda is a certified teacher. All right, you wanna talk about what grades you've taught?
Well, I'm certified special ed, bilingual, and general ed.
For pretty much all the grades, right?
Yes.
So K through 12. So these are teacher-approved activities. And while I'm not a teacher, I have always worked with kids anywhere from 3 all the way up to like 22 in a variety of settings. 5 years of which were in a middle school setting. So you want to jump right in?
Sure.
You want to go over so tip number 1.
Is actually have a structural routine in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I have noticed that all of my years teaching that routines and structure actually works. It gives the kid something to look forward to, and it's actually engaging for them to just wait for that activity because they're like very happy to do it, and it doesn't get them by surprise, or they're not like, oh no, I don't want to do that, because they already know ahead of time what's the activity going to be.
Yeah, and I think you don't necessarily have to get them up at I mean, obviously you're going to do what works for your family, you know your family best, but I don't know that you necessarily have to wake them up when you would wake them up for school. But it's probably not a bad idea, because it seems like at least here the kids are only getting breaks in 1 week increments, so really at any point they could have to start getting up early again to go back to school. But I think it's important to structure in some specific educational time, some no screen, not educational time, so just some free time for kids to figure out how to keep themselves busy, and then to schedule in some screen time so they know when they'll get that, if that's what motivates your child.
Yeah. One of the things that I actually tell my parents is to limit screen time, because I don't want them, or not me, but you guys as parents, we don't want them to relate free time with screen time. Free time should also be outside time, play time, board game time. Like, make sure that you actually make an activity that your kids will enjoy without having to be just a screen.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. So tip number 2 is a little obvious and straightforward. If your school is providing work or online instruction or materials, schedule a time specifically for that. Probably whenever your child is most productive. If you have a morning child, put it in the morning. If you have kind of a sleepy, slow starter, put it in the afternoon, especially if the school is expecting that work to be done and if it'll be graded. Obviously, you want your kid to put the best work in. And yeah, I don't have too much else to say about that. Do you?
No, I'm not a morning person, so I can't relate to this one.
Okay. You want to do tip number 3?
Yes, it's read. Make sure, and this is one of the things that I actually encourage a lot, because I was not a big reader when I was growing up, and I wish I had. Just read independently, out loud, audiobooks, discuss what you read with your kids. I wish I had that time, but I had 2 working parents, so it was hard for them to actually have that time for us.
And if you're not home with your child, that's fine. Have them read while you're at work, and then when you get home, ask them questions.
Anything, like 5 minutes before bed, or anything. For me, it was hard because my parents didn't know how to do that. And actually, that's one reason why I became an educator. I really wanted to be able to like reading, and I do now, but it was a process.
And my sort of 2 cents personally, having been pretty good friends with 2 different school librarians at 2 different schools, it doesn't matter what your kid is happy to read, let them read that, and don't make them feel bad. If it's graphic novels, comic books, books that seem to be below their grade level or, age appropriate, just let them read it. Obviously, again, if they have assigned reading from school, yes, they should be doing that. But otherwise, anything they want to read is building language skills. So reading. Anything else with reading?
No, just let your kids read whatever they can. If they want to read magazines, let them read magazines.
Yes. Yeah. Even online articles to some extent, you get into kind of blue light stuff and screen time, but if it's holding their interest and they're truly reading it and absorbing the information, let them do it, in our opinion. How's your mango nata?
Yeah, delicious.
Tip number 4 is do some STEM activities. That covers a lot of bases. Kids usually really like them because they're generally very hands-on, engaging. So some ideas that I had was to build a parachute for a little action figure. Give them a couple materials, a trash bag, some string, whatever's laying around. And tell them, you want the little guy to fall as slow as possible. And you can talk to them things about like surface area, drag. It's really easy to Google this stuff and get some of the information to talk them through it. Build a Lego bridge or what I call like a junk boat. Just give them a bunch of trash and say, hey, build a boat and we're going to see how strong you can make it. How many rolls of quarter, how many granola bars, how many can it hold before it sinks? Same with the Lego bridge. How many books can we put on your Lego bridge before it cracks? Another one is tallest tower. Again, just give them a bunch of materials. Maybe you give them, half a box of spaghetti and 2 feet of tape and see how tall they can build the tower. It's really easy to Google STEM activities, particularly depending on your child's age. But a big part of STEM activities is 1, doing a little bit of research into the concepts behind whatever activity they're doing, and 2, letting them make mistakes and re-engineer and try again. It's a big part of STEM is figuring out what went wrong and doing it better the next time.
One of the things that I actually want to recommend parents, it's super easy and it actually like assess what your kids learn with that activities. Do a hashtag what I learned today, or a hashtag how is it possible slower, and they can just come up with 1 or 2 words. They don't have to write it down. They're just saying it to you.
Yeah.
And it's super awesome because it's hashtag. It's like the thing right now.
That's what the cool kids do.
The cool kids do. So another thing that we
Tip number
5.
Tip number 5.
Tip number 5 is cook with your kids. Recipes can build math skills and half or double a recipe. Actually, it helps a lot just to make them a little bit independent around the house. Just
life skill.
Yes, just to find out how to make, I don't know, cereal. That actually is something they can use measuring cups with, and they can actually find out what's the right ratio that they really like.
Yeah. Or the serving size. Talk through the nutritional facts. There's a lot of math in there.
So any simple things like that, easy to do.
Yeah. Tip number 6 is websites. Again, there's a bunch. 2 that we like are education.com. And if you do education.com/worksheets, there are a bunch of free printable worksheets by grade and by subject area. So depending on where your kiddo is at in school, if you want them to do some more formal sit-down type things, that can be a good resource. And Lauda found one that's kidsactivitiesblog.com. And that has a bunch of ideas specifically for right now, right?
Actually, it has a bunch of like websites that are offering right now free access to your
their services.
To their whatever activities they have, and you can use them right now since we're stuck at home for a while.
Yeah. And I'll link those in the description box.
The other one will be
tip number
7.
Was it 7?
I think so.
1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
I was right. Tip number 7. It's physical play and outside. Like I'd say, make free time not only about be able to play inside the house, but also outside, walk, sports, obstacle courses, yoga, whatever you can outside. You can actually put one of the YouTube videos and have your kids
just kick them out of the house. Fresh air. It's probably good for you too.
Yeah, some yoga or something like that. It's just easy for them to get some fresh air, like she said, and get some sunlight.
Family walks. That's another great one. Your tip 7. Tip 8 is screen time free play. I'm not going to keep, going on and on about not doing screen time, but this just means letting your kid play with their other toys. Depending on what their interests are, get out the Legos, get out the card games, the board games, the puzzles. Maybe your kid likes doing word searches or crosswords. Again, if they're a really physical kiddo, maybe you're maybe you're building an obstacle course or sending them on a scavenger hunt through the house. Just anything that they can do to keep their time or, use some time up without having the screen right in front of them.
Tip number 9, I did remember this time, is writing or journaling. Journaling, sorry. One of the things that I really enjoy is journaling. I have pens of every color and every...
To be clear, she doesn't really enjoy journaling. She enjoys having pens and notebooks.
Which makes it journaling. Oh my god.
That is a tricky word, journaling.
I know, journaling.
Just have them write.
Journaling.
Like you're having them read, have them write. Maybe
Just-
have them write a letter.
Yeah, how about write a letter to grandma or grandpa and tell them their experience. Mom is not letting me go outside, or
A letter to their future self.
we ran out of toilet paper. I don't know, something.
Just have them write. It's a good skill. I don't know that you necessarily need to edit it or proofread it. You're just getting them some practice. You're not expected to take over their education during this time frame. If you can, that's great. But if you send your kids to school, school will be back in session at some point. It'll be okay. And then our final tip, tip 10, is arts and crafts, coloring, something that's, creative. Letting them get those creative juices out. Again, I don't think you have to go out and buy a bunch of fancy stuff or anything like that. Just use what you have around and, let them get creative. I've seen outside scavenger hunts where they go and find materials just in your backyard. And
As a teacher, I can tell you that you have a lot of crafts in your house. Don't throw it away.
potential craft stuff,
Yes.
yeah. Save your trash.
Trash your trash. It can actually be very helpful.
Yeah.
I think one point we used toilet paper to make flowers, like anything can actually. But right now, I think toilet paper is like very
Save your
crucial.
toilet paper.
Save your toilet paper. So anything actually, plastic cups. Make your own flower pot or something. It's easy.
So whatever you have around. You don't have to go out and reinvent the wheel.
No.
So those are the 10 tips. Obviously, tip 11 is if you allow screens in your house. That was a mango, not a disaster. If you allow screens in your house, maybe you want to expand what you normally allow. Maybe you want to stick to the normal regulations. Again, do what's right for your family. But I personally would go ahead and structure that into the day so your child isn't asking all day. They know that they're going to get, maybe TV time at 11 and a.m. and iPad time before dinner, or whatever you want to do. But I would put it in the structure of the daily routine so they know when they're going to get it.
Yep.
Any other last minute pearls of wisdom from the teacher?
One of the things again, and I'm gonna repeat this again for you guys. Have a routine ready.
Build it with your child, even.
Build it. Yes, actually, if you make this routine or you build it, like put a visual for your child to see it, they're more likely to follow it because they're making it themselves. It's like
They have a stake
are
in it.
owning the schedule.
Right.
So just like I said, just make sure that you, if you're building a schedule, make sure that you build it with them, and they're more likely to follow it if they're part of it.
Yeah. I think that's it. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below, and I'll make sure she answers. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.